Hey guys, it's me, Shane. I'm here to give you a gaming review and a bit of an update. This weekend, was able to play the free beta for the Marvel Avengers game for the PlayStation 4. I got a couple notes here, and what I want to talk about today, not just my impressions, and there's some new info that's come out as well. I'm probably going to be putting this video out a little bit before Thursday. I'll do my best to still give you a video Thursday, but just want to collect myself. Had a lot going on. I'm gonna give you my look, the feel, the story elements, my thoughts, along with the new info, and then give you my full thoughts overall. Uh, One thing I want to point out is I do not like the fact that this was more or less a console exclusive beta. You had to pre-order the game to play the beta, I believe, 2 weeks ago, and this past weekend, the 13th through the 14th, everyone was able to play for free. I wasn't gonna pre-order a game just to try out a beta. You should be able to try out a beta. It's more of a demo, but try out a beta demo without having to pre-register. So that's just my 2 cents on that. Uh, Initially starting it up, you have to have a Square Enix account. Didn't take that long to make. Just think, whenever I see this thing, it reminds me of like the Ubisoft accounts that Ubisoft wants you to make, and that just puts a bad taste and gives me bad flashbacks. But anyway, when you from doing this beta, you are gifted 3,400 credits. So credits allow you to buy more, anything. I guess is the currency that you are going to be accumulating by playing the game, and you also get a nameplate. So, whenever I do play this game or get this game, I will have that to look forward to. So the look, I have a basic PS4, and I say basic, but it's the Black Ops. I want to say, was it 3? Black Ops 3 PS4. Excuse me, Black Ops 3 PS4, and this game looks really, really good. This is a very, very beautiful game. Um, Earlier on, when we saw the first trailers last year for all this, it was looking pretty rough. It's looking mighty, mighty rough. And they did a good job tightening up everything. Faces look great, even though it's still kind of off. It's obviously modeled after the MCU, but they aren't the MCU, and there's nothing you can really do about that. And it's okay. I get what you were going for. I'm gonna touch more on that later, but game was great. Graphics are great. Hit sparks look great. The two separate boss sequences look amazing, and even the cinematics flow very nicely. I know some people were complaining about the how do I put it, the motion blur. I hated it too, but there was a way to adjust it, but they don't call it straight up motion blur in the options. They call it camera refocusing, and if you just lower it from moderate to light or just turn it off, it'll be gone. So I'm not a fan of motion blur myself, but you can just turn that right off. And something else about the look. Something else about the look. Frame rate. People were complaining that the frame rate was jumping. I didn't see it. I personally didn't see it at all. Hydrate real quick. I personally didn't see it, but it looked great to me. Um, in the beginning parts, you do play as Iron Man. Well, first Thor, then Iron Man. It's basically the same stuff you see out of the trailers, which uh, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go now to the feel. I'm not gonna say the cliche thing. It makes you feel like the Avengers. No, the combat for Thor. I had a feeling I would want to play as Thor, and I enjoyed every moment of it. It's heavy swings, pretty decent combos. I expected this game to feel a lot like the Ultimate Alliance series or the X-Men version of the Ultimate Alliance series. I cannot remember the name. I'll probably try to put it in the description down below. But I expected it to feel this way. Just like when you're playing the main story, it'll just be one character or possibly someone off on the side. No biggie. Thor was able to throw Mjolnir, catch Mjolnir. The ultimate attack for him was amazing. Iron Man's flight was kind of meh because you're supposed to fly and be able to shoot with repulsor rays, and I found that slightly difficult to do. He his his combos were pretty nice, very heavy feeling, but your Iron Man, I didn't expect it to not feel heavy at all. Mm, can't think of anything else. He had a the ultimate in the story was Unibeam. When you get to multiplayer, he does have the ability to turn into the Hulk Buster, which is really cool. Playing as Black Widow, it's almost like playing a fighting game. It felt really smooth, felt really good. She has this invisibility thing she could do, and she can grapple. That was fine. Cap playing as Captain America was phenomenal. I I was kind of speechless because he can throw the shield and then bounce off everybody and come right back to you. I greatly enjoyed playing as Cap. I wish I could have gotten more time to play as Cap. I don't know if that's going to be the same as when the full game comes out and you get to his section, but I enjoyed it. You do play as Kamala towards the end. She's just she's stretchy. If you've ever played as Mr. Fantastic before, in any of the older games that he's been in, that's kind of the feel. She feels like a didn't tell you about Hulk, but she feels like a more fluid, smaller, stretchy Hulk. Her long range is just stretching her arm out and hitting, which that's creative. I believe that's very creative. Uh, Playing as Hulk was also very fun. He's he's jumping off of stuff, going from wall to wall to wall. Um, I believe in the story mode, I I had to play it twice because I failed an objective that said stay put, and then I had to go all the way back, which was annoying. But instead of me walking back, I just jumped the whole way there, which was much faster for Hulk. Um, Good thing was I had gotten a chest during my first run, and I hadn't unlocked a couple things. I did not have to go re-unlock those after failing. It's great. I'm glad they didn't punish me for that. The Some people say the combat's pretty repetitive, but let's just be honest. Most video games is about repetition. It just depends on if the repetition is fun or if it gets broken up. Um, this game played how I imagined it was going to play, so I don't really have any complaints about that. Um, my overall thoughts on this beta slash demo was is my overall thoughts is that it was fun. It did what it did. It just shouldn't have been it shouldn't have been open for just a weekend. You should have just opened it up to everybody, and they probably should have done it maybe a few months ago because this game comes out next month on September 4th. So they probably should have done this maybe back in July, just in case people want to hit. Because there was some people got hiccups not getting match made. I tried to do some matchmaking open. Well, I did one open world mission because it's getting late. I had something to do next day, so I just said let me try one of these. And the person I match made with was one single person, but the other two characters were my Black Widow and was it my Hulk? My Black Widow, my Hulk, because you only got to play as four characters: Iron Man, Kamala, Black Widow, and Hulk. When you did the open world part of the game, and I chose Iron Man because I had used some of those credits to buy a nice little black outfit, and I wanted to play and try it, and I wanted to try the Hulk Buster. So as you can see, I got my war. This is a War Machine. This is my War Machine shirt, and had to rock this for this video. And yeah, it was a good time. If I don't plan on buying this week one, but I do plan on getting this game. It's fun. It's something that I look forward to playing with my friends. Kind of sucks if you watch my last video. Kind of sucks that Spider-Man's just on PS4 because I would definitely, for a price drop, I would definitely buy this again for Xbox to play with some people I play with on Xbox. But it is what it is. Now, to this new information, which I have up here, and I normally I have one. I have this article. One's from Inverse, written by both Thomas Franzese and Corey Plante. I usually don't do anything from them, but this story was also backed up by Forbes, written by Paul Tassi, a senior contributor with games and things like that, and it has been discovered that there is a list of 17 leaked unlockable Avengers in the game. And this kind of has some people's eyebrows raised, and it's kind of raising some, I don't want to say red flags for people, but it's raising some flags for people. And I'm not going to read all of these articles, and I'm not going to read them in total. I'm just going to go through this list. Now, the person who leaked this, I actually do want to touch on that because that's actually really important. The same leaker had published a new post on Thursday with the link to all the code from a Pastebin page. This is from on August 8th. Reddit user 6 plus 4 equals 52 post information of the data mine Avengers beta, which, if you guys aren't familiar with data mining, that's kind of why a lot of people don't like putting out betas, especially for fighting games, because once you put out like a demo or beta and there's a chance that a lot of the source code is within that beta or demo, people can just straight up data mine, look through the codes and see what's in there. I mean, for the Dragon Ball FighterZ game, people were able to say, oh, we're getting base form Goku and Vegeta, we're getting Zamasu, we're getting Bardock, we're getting Broly, because we have all of these files that are placeholders for them, so we know they're coming. Kind of the same thing for this right now. Excuse me. I just wanted to make sure this leaker did not have a name or anything. Okay. So outside of his name, trying to make sure he didn't uncover anything else. I will definitely put both of these articles in the description for you, so you can take a look at them yourself. But the 17 unlockable characters, which I love unlockable characters, but I'll get that in a second. Ant-Man. Ant-Man was at the end of the second trailer, I believe, that we got showing more of the game. I believe that came out last year. Ant-Man, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, Falcon, Hawkeye, who was in a trailer, Hulkbuster, Kate Bishop, Marvel, Mockingbird, Quake, Scarlet Witch, She-Hulk, Vision, War Machine, Wasp, and Winter Soldier. So, I believe I am at the portion where I'm going to give you my full thoughts, because with this information, if you're putting two and two together without me having to read off what they said, some of these guys believe it's going to be like Smash Bros. Now, what I mean by Smash Bros, Smash Ultimate, they put in characters like Peach and Princess Daisy. Princess Daisy's Peach's Echo Fighter. They believe that some of these characters are going to be Echo Fighters. So Kate Bishop obviously will play like Hawkeye, correct? War Machine would be, a black Iron Man, but, with guns instead of the beams. And the thought is that Captain Marvel might play like Iron Man or Thor. I'm not 100% convinced on that, because while these characters share similarities, just like with War Machine, there's some things different. Like Captain Marvel, she does use beams, and she does use close combat, but outside of changing the skin and having her energy trail when she moves, she does fundamentally have different moves to Iron Man. It's not necessarily a beam or unibeam or things like that. I would definitely, hopefully, they look back at some of the games that Captain Marvel was in when she was Miss Marvel, and look back at some of the games like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and borrow some things from there. In Inverse, they had the same feeling. They were thinking to themselves, well, Smash has 76 playable characters, but seven of those characters were Echo Fighters, and then some of them, like Lucina and Marth, they kind of play the same anyway, but there's small differences that the seasoned veteran can see. I personally don't. One, I never have issues with unlockable characters because that means this game has more depth to it, as opposed to it just being the original MCU Avengers plus Kamala plus Hawkeye plus Spider-Man if you're playing on Sony. You now have a list of your favorite characters or characters that you know of. The only characters I'm kind of scratching my head at are Marvel. I don't know if they're going with the MCU version of Marvel that was made a woman. She didn't really do anything. She just kind of shot a gun. Or if they're going to go with the traditional Marvel from the 80s, who basically had the same powers as Carol when she was Miss Marvel, with flying around and shooting beams and being having super strength. But there's also a version of Marvel that has guns and flies around like a hover disc kind of thing. But and if you are very eagle-eyed, if you remember this list of 17 characters, and to interrupt myself, Ant-Man and Wasp, I don't think they would play similarly. Yeah, they both can shrink, but Ant-Man is more of the growing. He can become giant man, and Wasp has Stinger, has Energy Blast, so there's some differences there. If you pay attention to these 17 characters, they're all from the MCU. This game, in my opinion, this game was probably in development and in planning probably around 2018-ish, maybe late 2017, when Infinity War and Endgame and the MCU was ramping up, and this is before Disney Marvel got the rights to the Fox characters, got the rights to the mutants, the Magnetos, the Wolverines, the Cyclopses, Storms, etc., etc. Because, and I did mention the story. I apologize for that. And the story is about how the Avengers were celebrating A-Day. They have this giant, it's basically a giant hover base called the Chimera. AIM attacks, causing a diversion. Eventually, and this is nothing, you can, if you don't like spoilers, which you can see all this in the trailer, turn away now, maybe come back later. I'm just telling you, this part doesn't really matter. During this whole attack on San Francisco on the Golden Gate Bridge, which is where most of the beta takes place and most of these trailers take place, the Chimera is sunk and Captain America is believed to be killed. I doubt that he is dead. He's probably went to hiding. And the main professor is the guy that becomes MODOK. So your main villain is MODOK. And AIM and on the Chimera was a Terrigen crystal. If you're a giant comics buff, you know the Terrigen crystals create the Inhumans. Kamala Khan is an Inhuman. She won a trip to meet the Avengers for making a fanfic for A-Day, and that's pretty close to how she is in the comics. She's a big fan of these characters. I do think it's kind of off that she would call herself Miss Marvel in this game, given that she was given that title by Captain Marvel, but and whatever. She is now tasked with finding the Avengers and getting them back together, because when asked were the Avengers a threat to everyone because of all the damage that happened, Bruce Banner said yes. And of course, him and Tony are going to have words, and Thor is upset because Tony made these weapons that the AIM guys apparently took and was using against S.H.I.E.L.D. and everybody else. And Nick Fury is gone into hiding. Maria Hill's in here. I marked out when I saw Dum Dum Dugan. Love Dum Dum Dugan. The bosses, I did mention boss fights. There's a Taskmaster boss fight. Taskmaster was great. And Abomination boss fight. Abomination never really looked too interesting in the comics to me. He looked great in the Incredible Hulk movie. He looks great in this game. And eventually you will see MODOK. And I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that there are going to be other villains we see here. Even though traditionally Taskmaster is a mercenary, so I can see him working with AIM because he's ex-Shield. He works with AIM. He can work with AIM or be hired by AIM. Abomination technically works with the Masters of Evil and kind of moves around in those circles, but I'm interested in seeing what other villains you get. Maybe we'll see a Baron Zemo. Maybe we'll see what's the guy from Iron Man? Dynamo. Maybe we'll see the Dynamo. I think they call him Red Dynamo. Not, I don't feel like looking it up, but not a Whiplash. Whiplash is garbage. Now it's supposed to be Crimson Dynamo. It's supposed to be Crimson Dynamo in the Iron Man 2 movie, and they changed it to Whiplash for whatever weird reason. But maybe we'll get more of those characters in this game. Pretty sure you're going to. This appears to me to be maybe a 5 to 10 hour story mode. That's just the feeling I'm going to get from it. If it's anything like Ultimate Alliance, it will definitely be within those ranges. At least, I say at least 5 to 10 because there will be people who want to play this by themselves. There will be people who don't necessarily have friends, maybe they have family, but there is no, side by side co-op. So you all pick an Avenger, you train them up, then whoever wants to do these missions, you're playing with your friends or families, trained up characters. That's what I'm going to assume is going to happen, unless people go out and buy PlayStations and play them within the home. That doesn't seem unlikely, but it's unlikely for some people. Now, my thoughts as a whole. If this game, and I understand why Marvel games were focused on the MCU. They were doing the same thing with the comics. They were choking out the X-Men because they didn't want Fox to have anything else. Sony's has had Spider-Man for years, so I'm not worried about that. I don't really care about that. Sony has let them use Spider-Man for Ultimate Alliance and Ultimate Alliance 2. He's on the center of the cover art. If you go look it up right now, guys, he's on the center of the cover art. That doesn't matter. What's perplexing to me is that it was a question of whether or not he was going to be in here. What's really bad is that the MCU and wanting to, a lot of people's first interaction with Iron Man is Robert Downey Jr. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. Iron Man, Captain America, Thor were B-list characters. You can fight with me all you want. They were B-list characters until the movies came out. Hulk has always been famous. That's why Universal wanted him. The X-Men, that's why Fox wanted him. Spider-Man, Sony. Those were their big three. I wish they would have done it like Ultimate Alliance, where you have these different characters from these different walks. I'm kind of surprised there's no Guardians of the Galaxy characters on this list. Maybe future DLC, maybe they'll add another story mode and add to it and say, hey, there's this cosmic threat coming in. Here's a raccoon. Here's a jerk who let Thanos kill everybody. Here's a giant tree. Maybe something will happen there. Who knows? All in all, I say get this game. I don't know if I can tell you to get this game at a $60 price. Maybe wait for Black Friday. I know if I was so inclined, I would get it. Maybe not the week of release, but I would get it sooner than Christmas holiday. But it's definitely a game you should play. It's definitely a fun game to have one. You got 3 other friends. It's like, hey, let's play this Ultimate Alliance type game. Gameplay is fun. How the characters feel, in my opinion, it's fun. It's just I wouldn't say but I'm miffed that once again the MCU has stranglehold something else that these Marvel characters are in. Especially if you're a comics fan, if you remember going around 2014 and I won't say maybe late 2013, how in the comics Cap's suit started looking more elaborate, started looking more like his movie version self. I mean, Iron Man has always looked like Robert Downey Jr. That's always been a thing, but they started just having those 6 together from the original movie. And I don't know if hey maybe you guys disagree with me. If you disagree with me and you think they should always stick with the core six, the Hawkeye, the Black Widow, Hulk, Thor, Cap, Iron Man from the original movie, tell me what you think. I actually want to hear from you. Tell me what do you think. Personally, I love Doctor Strange. I'm happy to see him on this list. That these are characters that make me want to buy this game soon. But at the same time, I want to play as Wolverine. Wolverine is one of my favorite Avengers. I would love to play as Luke Cage. Luke Cage is one of my favorite Avengers. I would love to see a character like Sentry or a character like Iron Fist, Spider Woman. Marvel, you have more characters than what has been used in the MCU. For the love, for the love of Excelsior, please, please let people use other characters. We have not forgotten about this 23 movie juggernaut. Let us use characters like Juggernaut, like Magneto, like Doctor Doom, like Human Torch. Please. So again, guys, thank you for watching. Sorry this one kind of it went a little bit long, but I haven't done reviews before. Hopefully, when I get better equipment, I'll be able to insert some gameplay into these things. Thank you if you stayed this long. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can always get videos like this. I'm I'm dead serious as well. I do want to hear what you think. Did you get a chance to play this game? Even if you didn't get a chance to play this game, what are your thoughts on it? Do you feel like this is worth your $60? If you're getting the Verizon Wireless Special Edition with special costumes, you're paying $80. Yeah, the microtransactions leave such a bad taste in your mouth. But as always, guys, wear your mask, be safe, be good, be blessed, and I'll see you next time.